Let him go across.
Follow the example.
Very well said.
Even within his own family.
Dr. Abati, with due respect, I want to challenge you. They not burn anybody to remove the police protection of Seyi.
Right. Not even the IGP.
They don't burn away.
The Inspector General of Police.
They don't burn away.
Please respect the office of the IGP.
They not burn away.
No.
Maybe the president.
You think I'm joking? You will see.
Well, we raised the point around the man that was detained and alluded to the fact that the president's son is almost more powerful than the IG of police and others because of the fact that he gives the directive. So we need to curtail those excesses.
You are quoting Showore.
No. I'm saying that example.
You are now quoting the opposition on this table.
No, I'm giving. I'm
supporting the opposition.
Seyi Tinubu, I'm not there. It's Dr. Abati. He doesn't know your word too. Okolomo. Gomino Lola.
All right.
I'm not there.
Very important personnel. Well, all right. Now to politics.
Tinubu didn't have to send the Air Force and the military to deal with this particular insurrection, this threat to our own sense of security and equilibrium. No. There are easier ways of doing it. Let me tell you where Tinubu should have looked for forces to quell that insurrection. Right here in Lagos. Right here. Or in Abuja, perhaps. I don't know. But there was no need to call the military or the Air Force. I'll tell you what happened. On one of my home visits, this about 2 months ago, I was coming out of a hotel and I saw what looked like a film set. And I said, oh, they're shooting a film. That was on the grounds of this hotel. And a young man detached himself from the actors, came over and greeted me, very polite, very nice young man. And I said, are you shooting somebody? I said, I'm just joking. Are you shooting a film? He said, no. And I looked around. There was nearly a whole battalion occupying the grounds of that hotel, in Ikoyi, right here. So I got back in my car and I asked the driver who that young man was. And he told me. And I saw this SWAT team, a mixture. There were at least heavily armed, at least some 15 or so heavily armed to the teeth security personnel. Looked sufficient to take over a small country, neighboring city like Benin. And I think the next time the president should just call and say, Seyi, go and quell the rebellion over there. I was so astonished that I started looking for the National Security Advisor. I said, track him down for me. I think they got him somewhere in Paris, but I was with the president. He was at a meeting. And I said, I've just seen something I can't believe, I don't understand. And I described the scene to him. I said, do you mean that a child of the head of state goes around with an army for his protection or whatever? I couldn't believe it. Later on, I did some investigative journalism. And I inquired, and I found that apparently this is how this young man goes around with his battalion, his heavy armed soldiers. Of course, the road was cleared before his car went out. I stayed until it seemed he was leaving. So next time there's an insurrection, I think the president should just call that young man and say, go and put down those stupid people there. You have enough troops under your command, so don't bother me with all these security issues any longer. Let's not overdo things. This is not the first country that has a head of state. It's not the first country whose head of state has families. And I think children should know their place. They are not potentates. They are not heads of state. And the security architecture of a nation like this suffers some injury and alienation when we see such a heavy devotion of security to one young individual. You'll excuse me, but I'm in and out most of the time. And this place is named after me. It's my center. So if I go off the immediate subject of our awards, I hope you'll excuse me for taking possession of my own center.